Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Have you ever thought of starting your own business but then backed off because you feared failure or didn't know where to start? Today's video will be very interesting for those who want to change their lives. So watch it till the end to get motivated. This is the story of an ordinary young man who did just that and eventually ended up building a successful business. What's his secret? Let's find out. In the heart of a small city lived a young man named Sammy, just like any other young guy in his 20s. He enjoyed playing sports, spending time with friends, and dreamed about a bright future. Sammy worked at a mobile phone repair shop. To be honest, he was good at it, and his colleagues sometimes asked him to fix their personal phones. However, the owner barely paid him and often yelled at him for no reason. But Sammy endured and tried to learn as much as possible, dreaming of one day opening his own business. One evening after work, when everyone had left the shop, Sammy sat alone in the room full of phones and suddenly realized how much he knew about their inner workings. "Why am I still working here?" he thought. "I have the skills to do this myself." Suddenly he understood that if he didn't try to fulfill his dream now, he might regret it in the future. "I'm going to open my own business," he declared to himself. But when he got home that night, his enthusiasm waned. Fear began to creep into his thoughts. What if I lose all my savings? What if I can't make it on my own? What if I fail? He thought. Doubts overwhelmed him, and Sammy decided to forget about his idea. The next morning, he went to work as usual. But during the day, he couldn't concentrate. All he could think about were his failed plans. In the evening, he couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned in bed thinking about his future. Is this all there is to life? Just working for someone else until retirement, he thought, looking at the ceiling. Finally, Sammy came to his senses. "No, I can't live like this anymore. I have to do something," he thought. Taking a deep breath, Sammy got out of bed, took a piece of paper, and started writing down his ideas. When the sky turned grey with the first rays of dawn, he was ready to take action. The next morning, Sammy left for work, but he didn't go to the repair shop. Instead, he went to a computer shop and asked the owner if he could rent a small corner to provide repair services. The owner agreed, and so that same day, Sammy opened his tiny office. He put a table, a chair, and a lamp there and started waiting for customers. At first, Sammy didn't have many clients. Most of them were people he knew from the repair shop where he used to work. They brought their gadgets for repair, and he fixed them quickly and efficiently. Since he didn't have his own store, Sammy returned the devices to his customers after fixing them. People liked Sammy, and they even brought their friends and family to him. His reputation grew, and soon his little corner became a bit cramped. Then one day, a regular customer came to him with an expensive smartphone for repair. Sammy promised to fix it quickly, but he encountered a snag. The device had a problem that he'd never seen before. Sammy racked his brain, trying to figure out what to do, but without proper equipment, he couldn't fix the gadget. Feeling guilty, Sammy called the client and asked for more time. The client got mad. "I need this phone tomorrow. Can't you work faster?" he yelled. "I'm sorry, but I need some time to look into this problem," Sammy replied calmly. "Well, hurry up. I don't have time to waste." The client hung up the phone. The next day, Sammy managed to fix the phone, but the client didn't come for it. 2 days passed, then 4, and the client finally returned. He apologized for yelling at Sammy and paid him extra for the complicated repair. "You did a great job. Thank you," he said. From that moment on, the client became Sammy's best friend and helped him grow his business. A few months passed, and Sammy's little corner was bustling with activity. It was clear he needed a bigger place. Luckily, thanks to his thrifty nature, he had enough money to rent a small shop. Opening his own shop was a huge step for Sammy. Now he could expand his services and buy new equipment. Plus, he wouldn't have to share profits with anyone. He was in charge now. Sammy spent a lot of time looking for the perfect spot and eventually found a small but cozy shop in the city center. It was exactly what he needed. He immediately got to work, hired an assistant, and started renovating the interior. A month later, everything was ready. Sammy organized his workplace, bought tools and appliances, and hung a sign above the door that read Sammy's Tech Center. The grand opening was a success. Sammy's old customers followed him to the new location and brought their friends. Sammy was happy. It seemed like his business was destined to succeed. But then, suddenly, the number of visitors dropped sharply. For 2 months, Sammy struggled to attract customers. He even started taking on minor repairs to earn money. Then one day, his phone rang. It was his friend, who had sent him a ton of customers earlier. "I have some laptops that need repairing. Can you take them on?" he asked. "Of course," Sammy replied, hoping to restore his business. But when the friend arrived with the laptops, Sammy saw that they needed more than just repairs. They had to be completely disassembled and cleaned, and he didn't have the right equipment for that. But he didn't want to disappoint his friend. So Sammy took on the challenge. To his surprise, the disassembly process revealed that most of the laptops could be fixed by replacing a few parts. Sammy ordered the necessary components and got to work. A week later, he handed the laptops over to his friend. "They're like new," the friend was delighted. From that day on, they formed a strong partnership, and Sammy's business started to thrive again. For the next 5 years, everything went smoothly. Sammy expanded his services, purchased new equipment, and hired several employees. He also established good relationships with suppliers and manufacturers. Over time, Sammy's Tech Center became one of the leading repair shops in the city. Once Sammy attended a conference for entrepreneurs where he shared his experience. Standing in front of a large audience, Sammy felt a surge of emotions. He remembered his difficult journey from a repair shop employee to a successful entrepreneur. "It wasn't easy, but it was worth it," he said. The audience listened attentively. 3 years after opening his first shop, Sammy already had 3 branches of Sammy's Tech Center around the city. His business was booming, but he hadn't forgotten where he started. Each of his shops employed several young, energetic guys who wanted to learn the trade. Sammy mentored them, shared his knowledge, and taught them how to provide quality services. He knew that hard work and dedication were the key to success, just as it had been for him. Today, Sammy is known not only as a successful businessman, but also as a mentor to many young entrepreneurs. Looking back on his journey, he realizes that it was his determination and desire to improve that led him to success. He doesn't just fix gadgets, he fixes lives. And remember, if Sammy can do it, so can you. The choice is yours. If you found inspiration in this story, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. Your support motivates us to keep bringing you more great stories. Thanks for watching. See you soon.